Now, I don't want to misrepresent myself. I was never in the military, and I'm not really a tough guy. But I do know that when you need something to work under extreme conditions, you can look to military surplus for the answer. From packs to straps and gloves to gear, surplus gets it done with a quality build that's not going to break the bank. And these mittens are no exception. For $8.88 plus shipping, the USGI trigger finger mittens fit the bill.
Okay, I've always been a big fan of Army surplus, and the reason is because I think stuff like, especially for cold weather gear, because I think like stuff like Under Armour is good. I have a set of Polar Fleece that's it's really good stuff, but it's expensive and it's kind of a rip-off. And U.S. military stuff really does a good job of keeping you warm for less. These gloves were $8.88. This is the Arctic, the U.S. Army surplus Arctic cold weather glove with a trigger finger X left out there, so you can actually actuate the trigger on your weapons if you have to, if you're a soldier or a Marine. Now you can see these gloves are thoroughly soaked through, but they have an insert. Bear with me just a second here. There's an insert inside them. It's an ambidextrous insert that is 75% wool and 25% nylon, and this stuff you can get really wet underneath the outer shell, and it still works really good to insulate your hands. I built a snow fort with my kids today and yesterday, and I've been wearing these things, and even though they got really soaked, they did a really good job. My hands actually overheated. So if you're doing any type of work outside and you're wearing these things to keep your hands warm, you're certainly going to get overheated. They're that effective. But if you're just walking and you want to keep your hands warm in very cold weather, it's going to do a very good job for you for less than 10 bucks. I picked these up at AlleghenyOutlet.com. They got a lot of great prices and really good inventory. So yeah, go ahead and pick a pair up. You can wear just the shell if it's, say, above freezing, for example, and you can wear the wool insert inside the shell if it gets significantly colder. So yeah, I've put these things to the test. They work real good. One more thing before I go. I noticed that I can't get the trigger finger into the trigger guard of my AR series rifle. That's too big, and my finger is too fat when I have to really do a good job at working any controls on any firearm, really. I tried it on revolvers, some handguns I have, some automatics, and also my AR. I didn't actually go shooting with them on, but I tried sticking that big knob of a finger into the trigger guard, and it just doesn't really fit. So that's something to consider anyway. They keep your hands warm, they do good, and they do it for less than 10 bucks. So yeah, go ahead, don't be afraid of them.
Now, you can get these mittens in several different sizes, but the layering concept and materials are pretty much the same. Good materials including wool, nylon, leather, and heavy insulated fabric, as well as an elastic enclosure around the back, keep material out of the mitten. Now, there's only one available color, that's OD green, and has brown leather palms. Hey, the fit and finish is great. Heavy quality stitching, double stitching in a lot of places on the leather, hold the mitt together. Additionally, a lanyard cord's included, so you don't have to go to the closest officer and sniffle and tell him you lost your mitten. I can't see that going over very well. Application is, of course, cold weather. The layering is going to keep your paws warm, but you lose all fine motor skills because of the bulk. I couldn't get my finger into any guard, and you can see here that even on the SIG 229 with the wide glove cut trigger guard, it can't accept the mitt. Now, I'd like to recommend these things in a tree stand, but you just can't shoot with them. I mean, maybe you could consider cutting away the trigger finger on your shooting hand and sliding the wool insert finger out of the hole to use your firearms controls. And for less than 10 bucks, it might work for you. But really, you're trading any hope at fine motor skills for warmth. And in some cases, that's a pretty good trade. Hey, look, the USGI military trigger finger mittens are a good buy. It's a well-made garment, it's warm when wet, and they have good up the forearm coverage. Just don't expect to read a book when you have them on. Well, hey, this is YHC Kelly. Thanks for watching, and I'll try and keep them coming.